Hello everybody, welcome to another Rommel's Love Child video, and I'd like to give some big shouts out to J-Rave, Harrison and Hojo Bijo for your continued support and comments on my videos, and also to Science from Aslain's website for the suggestions for this video. Okay, and today we're going to look at the different types of tanks and their roles. So starting off with the light tanks, and here we've got my Panzer II from the German light line. And what we notice about them is that all light tanks are all pretty similar. You can tell them from that little diamond shape up there. You can select them down here, just your light tanks, and here's my collection. They've all got similar things to each other. Okay, they all tend to be lightly armoured, fairly fast, good camo rating. There you go, 40 kilometers an hour for the Panzer II, 79 for the Panzer I Mark C. The Toldi, which are coming up now, that's 45, that's quite slow. Then we get the T15, that's 60 kilometers an hour. So they're all quite fast, and that leads them to what their job is. Okay, their job is to run around, find out the enemy, spot them, and get out there before they get seen, or find themselves a good vantage position, hide in it before anyone else has got there or got anywhere near, and then spot the enemy tanks as they come along and then destroy them. Okay, they've all got good camo. So if we have a look at the AMX-40, which is actually slightly strange, it's more like a heavy disguise as a light. It's got a camo rating of 13, 9.9 and 3.4 if we have a look there. If you look at the AMX, so it's 22, 22 and 5.4. Now, what are these values, I hear you asking? Well, the first one is the camo value when your tank is stationary. Okay, so for the Chaffee, 16 when it's stationary, 16. The next one is moving, so when it's moving it also keeps its camo rating. The final value of 3.9 for the Chaffee, 5.4 for the ELC, that's the camo rating when it shoots. So you'll notice that the camo rating drops drastically when these things start to fire. And that should give you a little clue about how to play them. Okay, they're not necessarily designed to put out damage, especially not at the beginning of games when you move up higher tiers. Especially because once you get into tier 3 and above, you can be facing 3 tiers above you. So in this ELC, for example, I could be facing a tier 8, and as we can see from there, the armour isn't very good. Okay, 20, 10 and 15 on the ELC, so 20 on the front, 10 on the sides, 15 on the back. The T37 not much better, on 25 and 25 on the front and sides, and 19 on the back. And this can face tier 9 tanks. So whereas it's fast, it's got relatively good acceleration, and even the gun can do some good damage. You don't want to be hanging round and fighting against lots of tanks. You're not going to last. You will get hit very, very quickly. Because people like to target light tanks as well, partly because they're easy damage, and partly because if a light tank's flying around near you, it's spotted you and it's letting their team know where you are, and that means they can damage you. So you don't want to find a bush and camp in it right at the beginning of the game, somewhere we can spot over a large area of the map, but you've got to be prepared to move on. We'll do a video on light tanks at a later date, but I wouldn't advise you going down a light tank route for your first tanks, because it can be quite frustrating to master, especially when you're facing tanks 3 tiers above you. You don't know quite where everything is on the map, and you'll get ripped to shreds very, very quickly. Moving on then, we have the medium tanks. Medium tanks, obviously, as the name suggests, are a bit heavier, and they have better armour. So this Panzer IV has got 80 on the front, 30 on the sides and 20 on the back. They tend to be slower, okay, but their guns do more damage. Okay, this T25 is the exception to the slowness, because it's got a good speed of 60 kilometers per hour, so it's quite manoeuvrable, but it has thicker armour and a better gun than most light tanks do. Okay, the Panzer IV-H has got what's called a derp gun, which does a lot of damage in one shot, okay, up to 350. Low penetration, low accuracy. Okay, medium tanks are quite diverse. Get things like this here, the T28, which is more like a sniper tank because of its weak armour and huge size, but great accurate gun. It's got decent penetration, decent alpha. Alpha is the amount of damage it does. Okay, and then we get things like the Cromwell, which is kind of like a cross between a medium and a light. It's got thicker armour than a light, much thicker, better armour. but it's very, very fast and great gun. Next up, the heavy tanks. Okay, these characterised by having thick armour, big guns generally, but also generally quite slow. They're the ones that should be leading the line in here, the KV-1, the Soviet Tier 5 tank. I recommend this as perhaps a way to go down at first. Mediums and lights, you need to rush around. So you'll need to start off, obviously with the MS-1, then move up this path through the T-28 medium, on to the KV-1. As we can see, the T-28 is quite a frustrating tank, potentially, and I'll do a video on how to play that and how to get some good results in that later. But as we can see, we've got a thick armour on all of these. Some of them, like the American tanks, especially when you get higher up, they've got really thick turret armour, and they've all got big guns. You can see, obviously, the size of them, and you can look at that penetration and alpha. You don't want to get hit by these guns. They're designed to take some punishment and give it back. Churchill 1, one of my favourite tanks. It's a heavy tank again, and it can be quite a frustrating tank if you don't know how to play it again. So I wouldn't recommend necessarily the Churchill 1, although previously the Matilda is a great tank to play. But KV-1 is what I would recommend. Next up, tank destroyers. As the name suggests, their role is to destroy tanks, and generally they don't have turrets, which means that you've got to turn the whole body of the tank round to face your enemy. They do often have thick armour, things like the Ferdinand, very thick armour, but some of them, like the Nashorn, their armour is significantly weaker. But they've all got one thing in common: they all tend to have good, accurate, high damaging, high penetration guns. It's not always the case, but generally they do. The problem is, you have to turn that whole tank to face the enemy before you can shoot. It doesn't have a turret. So you want to hide these in a bush, out of the way of sight, and fire from long range. That's what they excel at, destroying tanks. You don't want to lead a line. If you go and lead a line with something like the Nashorn, go on the front lines and trying to brawl, you'll die very quickly, because someone will track you, get round the side of you, and then you're fucked, to be honest. So you want to try and avoid that. Last of all, SPGs or RT, or self-propelled guns, or Sky Cancer, or Scum. Anything you want to call them. Generally they stay hidden in a back corner of a map, and they shoot long range and rain death from above. Their shells tend to do a lot of damage. They tend to not be very heavily armoured, and they tend to have big long reload times. Like this reload time on this GW Panther is about 30 seconds, I think. Although 1050 damage is quite a lot of damage to do in one shot, so they can be really effective. There are variations again, like we've got the Bishop there at the bottom, and you can see the FV304. They work slightly differently, but by and large these guns have got a huge range and fire all over the map. Anyway, that's it for this video. In my next video I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the terminology used. You'll hear on other videos, you'll hear in game, and maybe discuss a few of the misconceptions like gold spam and stuff like that. Anyway, thank you. Please comment, like and subscribe. Take care.